Well, good morning to you and welcome. Welcome to a brand new week of the Art Lewis Show coming to you from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. And we appreciate their sponsorship of the studio, and we appreciate Linda Shepard's sponsorship of the program. Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. If you have any residential or commercial real estate needs, give Linda a call, 989-295-7713. And don't forget their new Cafe 476 in the Point at M47 and M46, featuring now a whole list of new soups and food items. So give them a try. Lots to talk about. This is an open line hour. So whatever you want to talk about, 752-6111, toll free, 866-790 WSGW. I want to start with the passing of General Colin Powell. And it's interesting and sad in a way, but he apparently has died from complications of COVID. And he was 84 years old. I thought I read, though, that he was vaccinated, but I'm not totally positive on that. You know, it's interesting. History has a way of treating things. When Colin Powell was the general, highest ranking general, Secretary of State, he could have run for president, and every single poll in America said he would have been elected. Now, the general said that his wife put the nix to it. She didn't want any part of it. And he didn't have the fire in the belly, so to speak, to be president. But at the time, he was probably the most popular man in America. And when I say history has a way of looking at things, we then have to remember he was also the man that went before the General Assembly of the United Nations and made the case for the war against Iraq following 9/11. As we all know now, many of the items in his speech were incorrect because of faulty intelligence. And he looked back on it years later and said that it was a blotch on his record. Probably true. But I don't know that it will sully his overall reputation as a thinker, as a statesman, as a military hero. That's the way I'd like to remember Colin Powell. Yeah, there were some errors. But then again, who can stand up to 100% scrutiny of anything? He just happened to do it in a very public way. But again, if he had decided to run for president, the chances are he would have won the election. And apparently he was, and I thought I had read this, but I have confirmation online now, but he was fully vaccinated. So as they say, the vaccine 99.999% of the time works, but there is always that exception. And he was a breakthrough case. Vaccinated, but got COVID anyway. 84 years old. And there will, I'm sure, be lots of tributes and lots of analysis. And depending who you talk to, how he'll be viewed, because as we all know, everything is looked at through political eyes these days, which is a shame. But that's apparently the way we are thinking these days in this country. Al is in Midland, so let's say good morning to Al. Al, good morning to you.
Good morning, Arthur.
Morning.
First on Colin Powell. He was not the only one that believed those things that were in his speech.
Oh, I know it,
Bill
but he
and
gave the
Hillary
speech.
Clinton.
Yeah, he gave the speech.
Yeah, but
So-
Bill and Hillary Clinton believed all the stuff that he was believing, and they went along with it because they had been told that stuff too. So he was not the only one going along with that.
Yeah, but he was the one
You
that
had-
made the speech before the United
I know,
Nations.
but you had both parties that believed.
Oh, of
that
course.
Colin
Yeah, I
was
know
part of
that. I know that. I know that. But we're talking about
Okay.
Colin Powell. We're not talking about those
Right.
other people. You know.
I understand that. Give him a pass because he got the same information, and all he was doing was being the front man. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. This is an interesting little deal. I don't know if you've ever heard the story about how a baker's dozen ever started, or where it got started, where its beginnings began.
Never did. If I did, I don't remember it.
Okay. Back in the medieval times, bakers were found short sheeting some of their baked goods, and back in those days, if you did things and didn't.
Are you telling me there were?
Service.
Are you telling me there were cheaters in the medieval days?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah.
my goodness gracious!
Everybody was looking for. Everybody was looking for a way to make a little extra money.
Mm-hmm.
Well, back in those days, if you were caught doing that, you were flogged. So rather than the bakers getting flogged, they decided to give an extra one, and every now and then a baker's dozen was 14, just for good measure. So that's where that comes from. So
wonderful.
That's the beginning of the baker's dozen. I don't know if you've ever heard that, but that is the story about it.
All right, excellent.
It has roots in history, as it were.
Yeah, superb.
Hey, I heard.
Who knew there were cheaters back then?
Yeah, I heard a fellow on public radio, National Public Radio, on Friday, after I'd listened to some of the other things. Anyhow, while listening to this environmental expert, he was being interviewed on one of their science programs and why they opposed oil pipelines. And I thought this was just unbelievable. And so I don't know if this was a slip of the tongue or a gag, but I'm going to quote his exact words here. Because we are trying to remove the access to all of the less expensive sources of energy everywhere we can. And I'm just wondering if this applies to all of the other objectionable fuel sources that the environmental kooks want to be rid of.
For those that object, yeah, probably true. That's he was probably you know what's refreshing about that? He was probably telling the truth for a change. That's what they want to do. They want to get rid of anything low cost energy because it's all produced with fossil fuel.
Well, but it saves us money, and
that's not their worry.
I know, but I'm always told they're always telling me how solar energy and wind energy is free.
Yeah, right.
Well, it's not free.
No.
It costs more.
Yeah, and you got to capitalize the construction. So.
Yeah. And the other thing is they can't recycle these wind turbine blades. They can't recycle the solar panels. The solar panels are baked like a cake. You bake all those materials into there, and there's no way to remove it back out. It's like trying to take a cake out of your home oven. You can't get the eggs back out. You can't get the flour back out. None of that stuff comes back out. And so all this stuff goes to landfill. And it bothers me that they're trading one source of energy that they think is bad for another source of energy. We aren't going to know for 20 years what's going to come down.
Probably longer than that.
What's going to be bad about that stuff.
All right. Hey, I got to run.
So have a nice morning, sir. Thank you.
Take care, Al. Bye now. All right, we'll take a pause here and then come back with more. Let's see if we can give away some money. It's time to play the WSGW Fall into Cash contest, presented by Herman Hiss and Company, downtown Bay City. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following word online at WSGW.com. And the word this hour is King, King. Elvis Presley was known as the King. It's a company-wide contest for Alpha Media. You must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. It's time for the Fall into Cash contest, presented by Herman Hiss and Company on WSGW. And while I have your ear, let me take a moment here to tell you how to get more for your money, and everybody would like to do that. It's time to think Thalen Kia. Thalen Kia, located on Euclid Avenue in Bay City. Now, Kia combines style, safety, plus dependability with their 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty, and it's included on every Kia. And no one makes that dependability more affordable than Thalen Kia on North Euclid Avenue in Bay City. Get more value for less in a new Kia Rio S 5-door. Buy your new Kia Rio S 5-door from just $236 per month with nothing down for 84 months. Time to think Thalen Kia, Euclid Avenue in Bay City, getting you more for your money because it is the right thing to do. Plus taxes, state, and dealer fees, 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. See Thalen for warranty details. Included 500 Kia customer cash rebate, APR 3.9% on approved credit. See Thalen Kia for complete details. Deal ends October 31st, 2021. Shop online at Thalen Kia, thalenkia.com. And we will be back after these notes.
At Golden Harvest, our best skill is knowing how to listen. From our Gold Series soybean and game-changing corn portfolios to our expert insights housed in the Illuminate digital agronomy platform, everything we offer is an answer to what we've heard from you. This is how we listen.
Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, football in your favorite recliner. Pears. Enlist E3 soybeans from Golden Harvest are no different. Our exclusive Enlist E3 varieties have strong agronomics and disease tolerance for your conditions. Get yours from Golden Harvest today for a pairing that performs. This is how we listen. Copyright 2021 Syngenta. The trademarks or service marks displayed or otherwise used herein are the property of a Syngenta Group company, and Enlist E3 soybean technology is jointly developed with Dow AgroSciences LLC and MS Technologies LLC. Enlist E3 is a trademark of Dow AgroSciences LLC. All other trademarks are the property of their respective owners.
The pandemics reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter bacteria and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact scientific studies. Only the Exocrine temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at exocrine.com.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stocks are under pressure on Wall Street. This as oil prices continue climbing, topping $83 a barrel, the highest level since October 2014. Bitcoin hovering near 6-month highs ahead of the possible listing of the first futures-based Bitcoin exchange-traded funds in the U.S., which investors hope will boost trading volume. The ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF could start trading Tuesday. Some cities are urging the president to loosen rules for spending $350 billion of coronavirus relief money that was directed toward state and local governments. Some cities want changes to how the Treasury Department calculates revenue losses, which gives them more flexibility to spend the money as they want. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Lillian Wu, invested in you.
Is your current home loan the right fit for you? Near historic low rates may be a great reason to refinance, but with a loan from Loan Depot, you could be saving money and paying more towards the bottom line. Call a Loan Depot loan officer and ask about our 27-year Smart Term loan or our 10-year ARM loan. Get a great rate matched with a great loan by calling 866-888-LOAN or visit LoanDepot.com. At Loan Depot, Home means everything. Rates are subject to change. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS number 174457. Licensed in all 50 states.
This is a test. WSGW is conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test. This is a test of the emergency alert system on WSGW. Equipment that can quickly warn you during emergencies is being tested. WSGW serves Saginaw, Bay, and Midland counties, along with the surrounding area. This concludes this test of the emergency alert system on WSGW.
All right, back with you in my Saginaw Spirit Home studio, the Art Lewis Show for the Monday. Back to our phones. Scott is in Saginaw. Scott, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How you doing?
Doing all right.
All right, I got a couple of them. The first one, I guess I'd say with Dr. Fauci. I've seen him on the morning talk shows make his rounds, and somebody asked him the question, did he do anything to deserve any of the negative publicity he's getting? He thought about it a second and said no. And so my question then would have to be asked to Dr. Fauci. If he did nothing wrong, why is he then leading the world in the most deaths? Most greatest man in this field, why are we the worst off than any other nation? Doesn't make sense. So
let's be. You can't lay that on his shoulders.
He's supposed to be the face of this.
Well, yeah, but he's not. He's not holding the gun to people's heads saying get vaccinated. It's you listen. I understand how controversial he is, and we can attack what he says, and not only him, but also the agencies that keep changing the tune. But you can't lay the deaths on him. I mean, that's carrying it a little too far, because it's okay to go after what he says, but let's be realistic.
Well, you know what I mean. I
know what you mean. You're making a point with exaggeration, and that's fine. And then that's probably, one way to do it. Let's put it that way.
All right. And then, to move on from that, here's another quick one. China lit off a missile that went around the world twice and missed its target by 24 miles.
Yeah.
I think that should be a mainstream media headline.
Well, it's been in the news, and that's how you found out about it, and that's how I found about it. I saw it on the news this morning.
I didn't hear it on any of the news.
Oh, I did. I watched it.
Talk radio.
Even saw the shot. Hypervelocity.
Really? Yeah. See, I didn't see it on any of the mainstream.
Yeah, I did. That's where I found out about it.
Okay. Well, then he says you got answers for all that. Here's another one. Pete Buttigieg finally comes out of his 2-month hiatus, and I'm glad that he fell in line with the rest of the Obama appointees. And he said himself that it's not his fault that all these boat logs are backed up. This is an infrastructure. This is private sector, but yet we didn't at this position.
Yeah. But wait a minute. Didn't he blame it on Trump? They blame everything else on Trump. Didn't he blame it on Trump? Well, I guess not, huh?
No, well, actually, he did. He said, "I can't be held accountable for anything that happened a year ago." So he did say that in the mainstream. So he got that one in there.
Yeah, they take no credit for anything.
No, except the good stuff. Then the one last one here that's really got me worried is this came out of East Lansing, that they want to cancel Halloween and Valentine's Day because not everybody can partake.
Right. That's
well,
right.
Are we going to get?
Let's face it. It's. We live in this pendulum world, Scott. You've heard me say this before. We react with a pendulum swing in this country. It never settles in the middle. It's either the far one way or the far the other way. And that's where we are.
Well, again, the right don't quite go that far.
Don't kid yourself. The pendulum swings both ways, and it's always out at an extreme one way or the other. Rarely does it just settle in the middle. Hardly ever.
Well, like the media try to say that DeSantis is being a dictator because he's dictating no mandate. Well, I'm thinking, isn't that dictator? He's saying, do what you want to do. You make the choice, and I'm not going to let nobody force you.
No, of course. I understand that.
Okay.
I understand that.
All right. Crazy times, Art. All right, thanks.
Yeah, I know it. That's why we're here. All right, Scott. Take care. Bye-bye. Let's see. Mark is in Bay City. Mark, good morning.
Good morning, Art. How are you, sir?
We are well. Hope you are.
Hey, Ben and Jerry had an interview the other day, and the interviewer had asked a question, and they were rumbling, stumbling, fumbling through the question, and it had to have been about the voter reforms going on in Georgia and stuff. And the question was, do you take a stand against it? And if so, why are you selling your products in that community? They didn't have an answer for it. So I'd like to help Ben and Jerry out even to boost their sales. I'd like to see like the Three Stooges stickers on the front of their ice cream. Orca with Mayorga, Biden, and Pelosi. And the name of the ice cream is called Chaos. The description is a little fruity and a little nutty.
No.
And I think that would help them out on their sales, on getting that build back better. Also, I'd like to see Kamala Harris in California take a rowboat out to all those ships that are sitting out there to see if she can't find the root cause as to why they're sitting out there.
Yeah, that's right, because they're on, you know what? She should, because they're on our border, and she's in charge of the border.
Exactly.
Great idea.
Exactly. And then I'd like to see Buttigieg on the LGBTQ plus community. Is that not white privilege? Woman has that births a baby, gets a couple weeks off, but Buttigieg got 2 months off. And now that we have the crisis, he's in charge of the transportation, but acts like it didn't happen on his watch.
Yeah,
or it did happen on his watch, but he can't take responsibility. But I'm just looking at the privilege that he has under the cloak of the LGBTQ community for adopting and taking 2 months off when other people that have babies aren't allowed to do that.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I don't give much thought to it at all. And the reason I don't is because it seems when people go to Washington, their lives don't fall under the same rules and regulations as everybody else. And that's both sides. And it's frustrating. It's frustrating to see what happens when people go to D.C. and all of a sudden live in a different world. And I just shake my head. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? All right. Mark, appreciate the call. Sir. Thank you, buddy. Take care.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
I want to spend a minute talking about last night at the Dow Event Center, because the Saginaw Spirit took on the Erie Otters and even the series, because Erie won on Saturday night and the Spirit won last night. But that's not what the conversation is about. I want to talk about what the evening was. It was pink out at the Dow Event Center, and they honored a whole bunch of people who are breast cancer survivors. And after the game, we held the jersey auction, because the players wore pink jerseys, and those jerseys were auctioned off. The game-worn jerseys were auctioned off after the game, and I have the privilege of being the auctioneer. The reason I bring it up, it was, I think, by mega dollars, the highest auction amount we ever brought in. And what was interesting about it is I was concerned when we first went into the auction, because 2/3 of the players on the Saginaw Spirit this year are totally unknown to the public. They're all very young and very new. And you wonder, well, how are you going to get any money for their jerseys when nobody knows who they are? Well, boy, was I wrong. And a whole bunch of thanks goes out to everybody who bid on these jerseys and contributed to the money, which goes to Ascension St. Mary's Breast Cancer Awareness, and also to Ascension St. Mary's and President Stephanie Duggan for sponsoring the evening. And they brought 900 people to the game. big crowds both nights. People couldn't wait to get out. Saturday night was a sellout, 5,278 people. And there were many thousands there last night. It was a great evening. Spirit won, but more importantly, breast cancer survivors won and breast cancer awareness. Just wanted to tip my hat and say thanks to everybody. All right. I want to take a moment to talk about somebody I do business with, because I am asked all the time, who do I do business with on certain things? Well, when it comes to insurance, my answer is Tom Sereski. Now, I've been an Allstate customer since 1974. And the reason I stay with Allstate is that when I've needed them, which has been rare, but when I've needed them, they have been there for me. But not only do I stay with Allstate because the company has done what I expect the company to do, my agent, Tom Sereski, is knowledgeable and a good listener. When I go in and chat with him, he listens and then provides me with the advice and guides me toward a plan, which is exactly what I need. And he'll do the same for you. He can protect your home, your auto, your motorcycle, your RV, boat, motorhome, rental property. Hey, do you have a classic car? He deals with Hagerty Insurance for that. He can provide specialty insurance for event coverage like weddings, as well as pet insurance for your cat or dog. That's right. And the Sereski Agency also serves the business community with Allstate's supplemental health benefits. So do as I do. Shop locally with a business you trust. I trust Tom Sereski for all my insurance needs. You can visit his agency on Tittabawassee Road, just west of the tracks in Saginaw Township, or call Tom at 989-497-0300. 497-0300. You have absolutely nothing to lose. Talk to him. Tell him what you need, hear what he has to say, and then make your decision. And be sure and tell him I sent you. You're in good hands with Allstate, even better hands with the Sereski Agency. We'll be back after these notes.
We've all seen how unpredictable life can be, but here's one thing you can count on. The Covenant Center for the Heart is here for you. More people in the Great Lakes Bay region trust their hearts to Covenant Healthcare than any other area hospital. Why? Because we have the care in the region. From diagnosis in our chest pain center, to the region's first structural heart disease program, to our cardiac rehabilitation and wellness center. And because we keep our patients safe, Covenant has been awarded an A rating for patient safety from the Leapfrog Group 6 times running. So if you have an existing heart condition, call your cardiologist. If you experience symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath, call 911 or come to the Covenant Emergency Care Center. Don't delay care. Life and hearts can be unpredictable. Trust yours to Covenant Healthcare, the leader.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
I struggled with symptoms like frequent gas and stomach pain for years.
I was bloated all the time with daily diarrhea.
I thought it was what I was eating.
I kept thinking it was stomach issues.
So I did my research and talked to my doctor, and we finally uncovered the truth.
It was actually EPI. Exocrine Pancreatic Insufficiency, or EPI, is a condition where your pancreas is unable to help break down your food.
It can lead to symptoms like diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, unexplained weight loss, and oily stools.
And EPI symptoms can be confused with those of other common digestive conditions, like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's, and celiac disease.
So getting to the right diagnosis meant being more open with my doctor about the severity of my symptoms and how often they were happening.
But the EPI is manageable, so don't wait any longer. Use the symptom checker at identifyepi.com and schedule a visit or call with your doctor to ask, could I have EPI?
Sponsored by AbbVie.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exocrine temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical or at exocrine.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Direct from the Stone Specialist Studios, this is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Governor Whitmer vetoed election bills, saying they failed to advance safe and secure elections. And when you look at what the bills were and you look at what she said, you wonder if they were all reading the same thing. What the bills had established was a timeline for the state's election panel to review initiative petitions so they don't drag them out, and shifted to county clerks the authority for canceling voter registration for people who had died. Why wouldn't that be in the county clerk's authority anyway? And there are some, ID requirements, like you need to provide some kind of ID information for absentee ballot voting and things of that nature. I don't see what's wrong with that, because when you go to the polling place to vote, you have to show your ID. Otherwise, you get a provisional ballot till you prove who you are. But this is strictly a political bandwagon around the country. Each side staking out their position because it may or may not affect their votes. Carl's in Saginaw. Carl, good morning.
Good morning, Art. At the beginning of the hour, you were talking about energy, and Al is so upset about solar panels and windmills. Maybe we should go back to whale oil lamps.
There we go.
They used whale oil for 100 years, to light our homes. So, maybe we should just go back to that and forget about,
No, progress always has a cost. Progress
of course it does.
always has a cost, and it takes a while to develop
See
the
the
systems
benefits.
and see the end result. The fact is that
Yes.
my guess is that at some point in time, as they develop these new technologies, they will also develop ways to dispose of them. He's right at the moment. He's right in what he says, but I don't see that as the long-range problem, because I do believe they'll come up with a system to recycle a lot of that stuff.
Yes. And, the reason that some fossil fuels are relatively low cost of federal subsidies, for us and shale exploration, and, they can depreciate the costs of, exploring and drilling and all sorts of things.
Yeah, but none of that has to do with OPEC's oil prices.
No, but if you really want to take the big picture, when you're talking about subsidies, what does it cost us to keep the 7th Fleet in the Middle East so we can keep, the oil shipments lines open? If you want to figure the cost of fossil fuels.
Well,
You
come
gotta
on. Let's face it. What does
Okay,
it
well-
cost to protect the nation?
Yes, but we're not really protecting the nation over there. We're protecting the shipping lines for oil. That's
Well,
what
that's
we're
part of
doing.
protecting the nation.
Okay, but if we didn't need the oil, then we wouldn't need to have the Seventh Fleet over in the Middle East.
Right.
You
What
know,
if we produce
you know,
our own oil? What if we produce enough of our
Yes.
own oil, and then we won't have to worry about them at all? But this president has stumped
we
down on
reduce
that.
Demand. We reduce demand for oil.
Well, good luck
So
with
that we
that.
don't-
I mean, that's easy to say. That's a lot harder to do.
Well, but that is happening. The demand is going down.
Well, sure, the price
And,
is going
you know,
up. Of course, the demand is going down.
Yeah. But, you know, the reason the price was so low when Trump was president is because nobody was driving. Do you remember at the height of the COVID epidemic, you know, you could drive around and the streets were empty.
Yeah, but the gas was cheap before that.
That's why. It's one of the reasons the gas was so cheap back then. It's supply and demand is the main factor of, you know, and okay. And then one other thing, you had a caller complaining about, you know, COVID deaths in the United States, blaming Dr. Fauci for that. The reason we have such high deaths in this country is because of obesity and diabetes. COVID takes a real high toll on people in diabetes. That's why first world countries are showing, you know, high rates of COVID deaths compared to third world countries. And you think, well, why is that? You know, we have better health care. It's because the population is more susceptible. It's because of, you know, the problems we have, like in this country. It's not Dr. Fauci, for heaven's sake.
Well, I said it wasn't either. You know, but
yes, I know. But it's, even though we have, you know, the best hospitals and all that, people in America, you know,
we live
have very
unhealthy
high rates of
lifestyles. That's well known.
Yes.
You know, we live unhealthy lifestyles, so no doubt about it.
And,
all right.
And that's what COVID does.
All right. I got to
Okay,
run.
bye.
Take care, Carl. Bye-bye now. We will be back with more after these notes.
Motown legends, the Temptations, the Four Tops. Saturday night, November 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort, Hempstead Tops, together again. Tickets start at $34. On sale now at the Soaring Eagle and Eagles Landing box offices or online at etix.com. T&T, together again. The legendary Motown sound, November 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino.
Just my imagination. Ain't no woman like the one I got.
Spend part of Thanksgiving weekend with the Temps and Tops. Casino and Resort.
The way you do the things you do. The way you do.
Motown's Fab Five and Famous Four, The Temptations, and Four Tops. Tickets on sale now. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
At Lowe's, we believe fashion and function should live together, especially when it comes to flooring. That's why we put together a showroom with the top stylish brands like Bruce Hardwood, SmartCore Luxury Vinyl, and Satori Tile, all known for their reliable durability. See everything our showroom has in store for you. Or with help from Lowe's. Home to any budget, home to any possibility. Install available in-store only and through independent contractors. See Lowe's.com for details and licensing. U.S. only.
You can't be in farming without taking risks. That's common knowledge. But that doesn't mean you should throw caution to the wind. And when it comes to new technology, farmers always look before they leap. And for the past 3 years, Farmers have looked at the Enlist weed control system, and they have leapt. Now it's your turn. Millions and millions of acres have proven the effectiveness of Enlist herbicide's superior technology with neighbor-friendly weed control, more tank mix options, much, much more. But to unlock all these advantages, you must start with Enlist E3 soybeans. See what a better seed and herbicide system can bring to your fields at enlist.com. You've looked, now lead.
On the next Markley, Van Camp, and Robin show.
How's Biden screwing up your life this week?
How long's the show? There's a lot of angles to that.
Like 12 hours, man.
Markley, Van Camp, and Robbins. Weekdays at noon on 100.5 and 790. News Radio WSGW.
All right, we're back with you. I had an email in response to Carl's suggestion we go back to whale oil. The emailer said, "Is he kidding? We'd have PETA all over us." Yeah, you can't win no matter what you do. No doubt about it. Here's an interesting political issue, not an issue, but a candidate issue. In the great state of Texas, since the days of Ronald Reagan, a number of actors have run for office and won. Arnold Schwarzenegger. There have been a bunch. And a lot of them in local elections. Well, everybody in Texas is waiting to hear from Matthew McConaughey. All right. He has alluded to the fact that he might want to run for governor, but has not said so. And there are a lot of people in Texas holding off on commitments until they find out. One poll said he'd be an absolute lock for the Democratic nomination. Problem with that is he hasn't declared. No one knows whether McConaughey is a Democrat or a Republican. A lot of his statements, comments, would lead one to believe that he's a moderate, but it doesn't dictate which side of the aisle he falls on. It's going to be interesting to see if he actually runs for the office. He has till December 13th. That's the filing deadline for the March 1st primary in the state. And there was a poll last month by the Dallas Morning News and the University of Texas. 44% of the voters favored McConaughey. 35% favored incumbent Republican Governor Greg Abbott, and the rest would choose another candidate. But again, it's unclear which party McConaughey would join. Does he go after the current governor in the same party? Or does he register with the opposition party? Either way, looks like he's got votes. What kind of a governor would he be? I have no idea. And usually you don't find out until they're in office, and then you go, uh-oh. So time will tell. But not the first actor to run for office. And probably won't be the last. But certainly worth watching in the state of Texas. Anyway, let's see. What else do I want to talk about? Are you aware of rare earth elements, rare earth metals? A friend of mine sent me a couple of emails regarding rare earth metals because the U.S. is trying to rival China to end cornering of the market in rare earth metals because they are used in so many things. They're abundant, but they are used in all kinds of things. And in 2019, China was responsible for 80% of rare earth imports. So something to keep an eye on. We'll talk more about it down the road. We'll take a break, come back, and finish up this first hour of the Art Lewis Show.
Goodbye, summer. Hello, fall. Yes, it is that time of year again to think about preparing for the cold winter months ahead. Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning would like to take a moment to remind homeowners to schedule a fall heating system checkup before it gets too cold. A complete heating system check is more than just a quick look. A complete system check involves the right kind of testing equipment and tools and the experience and knowledge to perform the tests. You can rely on the professionals at Reamer for a complete system clean. It's also a good time to have your sump pump checked and replaced if it's over 4 years old. With all the crazy rainstorms and power outages we're experiencing, a battery or water-powered backup pump is also a good idea. Call the professionals at Reamer Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning today to schedule a heating system tune-up and sump pump check. Don't wait till it's too late. Winter is just around the corner. Find Reamer on their website, reamerplumbing.com, or call 792-8738.
Anyway you spell it.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign of COVID and the flu, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer. Only the Exocrine temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate, with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them, and you cannot rely on them. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at exocrine.com.
Fever is the leading symptom of COVID and the flu, and the only way to reliably detect accurate thermometer. Be vigilant and be accurate with the Exocrine temporal scanner, proven in more than 100 clinical studies. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They are proven to be inaccurate and will not reliably detect a fever that might mean COVID. Be sure to seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at exocrine.com.
He's got some room. He breaks it at the 10. Blake Corum, touchdown, Michigan.
It's a Big Ten battle as Michigan hosts Northwestern at the Big House. Live Saturday morning at 11 a.m. on 790 News Radio WSGW.
Okay, that wraps up the first hour of the Art Lewis Show from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio. We thank you for being with us. We begin next hour by chatting with State Representative Amos O'Neal. Get regular updates from the representative. This will be one of them coming up right after the news. But first, the news from CBS, the national and international news, then the local report. Michael Percher bringing you up to date on what's happening in the Great Lakes Bay region and the state of Michigan. Then we'll be back. We'll talk to you right after the news.
From the Stone Specialist is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Vicki Barker in London.
I'm so proud that I have had this chance to serve my nation.
Colin Powell, soldier, diplomat, politician. His family says America's first Black Secretary of State has died of COVID at 8. Was vaccinated. CBS's Meg Oliver looks back at a remarkable life of public service.
His was a true American success story. His parents were Jamaican immigrants who raised him in the South Bronx. After graduating from the City College of New York, he took an Army commission and served in Vietnam. He rose in the ranks, becoming a general, and was appointed the head of the National Security Council by President Ronald Reagan. More honors were to follow. During the next administration, Bush made Powell chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staff, the highest military position in the Defense Department. When President Bush appointed Colin Powell as Secretary of State, he became the highest-ranking African-American official in the history of the United States.
Colin Powell dead at 84. The moment 17 missionaries from a U.S. Christian aid organization were abducted by an armed gang in Haiti.
CBS News obtained a WhatsApp message from a person who claimed to have been in contact with the abducted group. The message read in part, being harassed, kidnapped. They have control of our vehicle.
CBS's Manuel Bajorquez in Port-au-Prince. 5 children are among the 16 Americans and 1 Canadian abducted Saturday. Jury selection in Georgia for the 3 white men accused in the shooting death of unarmed black jogger Ahmaud Arbery. Their lawyer says they thought he was a burglar and shot in self-defense. Arbery's mother telling CBS Mornings.
There has been lots of miscommunications in the beginning on what happened on that day. But I'm hopefully that we'll get the right people in the right place to make the right decision.
Walkouts planned at California schools today over the governor's plans for a COVID vaccine mandate. This dad's keeping his kid home.
There's enough reason for and further study before we subject our children to an experiment.
Her name was Betty Lynn, but in the 60s, she was Barney Fife's sweetheart, Thelma Lou, on the Andy Griffith Show.
Sorry you're going to be busy at the movies, Barney. I was hoping we could drive up to the duck pond.
Betty Lynn was 95. Director and actor Ron Howard, who played Sheriff Andy Taylor's son Opie, has tweeted that she brightened every scene she was in and every shooting day she was on set. And British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's leading tributes in Parliament shortly for lawmaker David Amos, stabbed to death in a suspected lone wolf terror attack Friday as he met with constituents. This is CBS News.
Indeed helps. Indeed is your all-in-one platform for interviewing, screening, and hiring high-quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Spectrum Business knows small businesses are always looking to cut expenses. That's why we offer the best value on fast internet and phone. But we wanted to do more. So, how does 1 month free sound? Get 200 megabit per second internet for $49.99 a month and business phone for $19.99 a month. And right now, you can get 1 month of internet and phone and even TV for free. Call 855-258-5887 and switch to Spectrum Business. Restrictions apply.
RocketGrabPlus.com. RocketGrabPlus.com is for Wonderburger. You are going to get a $13 gift certificate for only $6.50, half off. Wonderburger is the perfect spot to get burgers on the go, and they grind their own beef daily. They're also the official burger of CMU football. You can also check them out on Facebook for their daily menu items and their location schedule. Head to RocketGrabPlus.com right now to snag your deal. RocketGrabPlus.com.
Attorney Joe Cordell. New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can leave you feeling isolated. And divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Offices in Troy and Ann Arbor. CordellCordell.com.
There are a lot of exciting things happening this fall. I want to focus on what's important, not what's for dinner. Luckily, HelloFresh delivers everything I need, and it's 30% cheaper than grocery shopping. The quick and easy recipes are perfect for weeknights. We're all busy, but with HelloFresh, I actually have time to enjoy my meals. Go to HelloFresh.com/DanaCortez14 and use code DanaCortez14 for up to 14 free. That's code DanaCortez14 for 14 free meals at HelloFresh.com/DanaCortez14.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 46 degrees at 10:05. Good morning, Mike Percha. Major Chords for Minors is getting a leadership change. The Saginaw area nonprofit has helped bring music into the lives of young people for 10 years. It was created and founded to provide one-on-one music lessons on piano, guitar, and risk kids whose families cannot afford to give their children lessons. Now, according to WNEM TV5, founders John and Catherine Vowell are stepping down. In their place, Lisa Kelly will be leading the organization. Major Chords for Minors, like many organizations during the pandemic, saw a drop in membership, going down to less than 30 students. Music lessons needed to be conducted online. Kelly tells TV5 the goal is to bring the organization back up to pre-pandemic levels. If you've noticed more four-way stops in Bay City instead of traffic lights, you may soon be seeing more. City commissioners shared a few months ago the change from lights to following a road study that determined the intersections did not follow general guidelines. With that in mind, commissioners will also be looking at new traffic control order, focusing on the intersections of Saginaw Street and 10th Street. Flags will be added to signs to add visibility of the new four-way stop. Officials with the Department of Public Works say the move is justified following results from the road survey, which would cause the building on the northwest corner and the wall on the northeast corner of the intersection to create an unsafe sight distance for drivers of 10th Street. Although 10th Street has stop signs, drivers don't have adequate sight distance to see oncoming traffic on Saginaw Street, and the change to a full stop should ease that issue. Quick, the Saginaw Township police are on the scene of a injury accident at Center and Weiss. The intersection is currently closed due to the accident. Please be advised to find an alternate route if you happen to be in the area. WSGW News Time 10:07.
Hi, I'm Terry Rock. Are you happy with your Medicare? I am now, after I met the pros at Medicare Choices. Yes, you do have choices when it comes to Medicare coverage. No cookie cutter plan for me. You buy a pair of shoes if they fit. Get the right fit. A customized plan designed just for you that helps you protect that hard-earned retirement. 989-899-7820. MedicareChoicesInfo.com will walk you through every step.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. Be sweeter than that.
WSGW News Time 10:08. The weather forecast is next. Dan Benishek, a Michigan surgeon who served 3 terms in Congress, has died at age 69. In a statement, his family says he died Friday. Details about how he died were not released. The Republican from Crystal Falls represented northern Michigan, including the Upper Peninsula, from 2011 to 2017. In Congress, Benishek served on the Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Veterans Affairs Committee. He also worked at the Iron Mountain VA Medical Center for 2 decades as a surgeon. Republican leaders described him as an advocate who fought with passion. Governor Gretchen Whitmer arrangements are announced. The U.S. and Michigan flags will be lowered in his honor. Many young kids use social media apps like TikTok. Now, a new poll looks at how closely parents are monitoring those interactions. Here's health reporter Dr. Deanna Lights.
About half of children aged 10 to 12 and a third of kids ages 7 to 9 have used devices to engage with others on social media apps in the past 6 months, according to the University of Michigan C.S. Mott Children's Hospital National Poll on Children's Health. Sarah Clark is poll co-director.
Parents who say their kid is using these social, 1 in 6 is not using any parental control features at all. They're really missing the opportunity to keep their kids safe.
Not knowing how to set up parental controls and too time-consuming are some reasons parents cited for not monitoring their child's social media interactions.
Dr. Deanna Lights, the Michigan News Network.
When you see news happening, call the WSGW newsroom at 752-0790. It's 1010. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for your day today with a high into the mid-60s. West winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies, a low near 42. Tuesday, sunshine, a high of 72 degrees. Then by Wednesday, a slight chance for rain showers here late. Blend of clouds and sunshine develops, a high around 71. Thursday, a chance for rain showers, cloudy, high of 62 degrees. Then by Friday, we'll have partial sunshine developing, a high of 53. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 53. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 49.
Now, the only local radio talk show offering you the of Express Your Opinions from around your block to around the world. The Art Lewis Show is on 100.5 and 790 WSGW and online, WSGW.com.
Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the Art Lewis Show, brought to you by Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty. For all of your commercial and residential needs in the world of real estate, give Linda a call. 989-295-7713 and stop into Cafe 476 in the Point at M46 and M47. Also, our thanks to the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club for sponsoring our home studio, the Saginaw Spirit Home Studio of Art Lewis. Special guest returning for another visit today from Lansing, our state representative. We say good morning to Amos O'Neal. Representative O'Neal, good morning to you.
Good morning, Art. How are you doing today?
Hey, we're doing well. Hope you are too.
Yeah, beautiful day, fall day.
So, there have been a number of things happening in the state since we last talked. As you look at all of the issues in the state today, which one stands out? What's number one on your list of things that have happened?
Well, number one list is passing the state budget. As you know, we had a lot of discussion, supplemental requests, and different things relative to our budget, when it will be released. And, you know, for example, our school funding and PPE funding, just a myriad of funding allocations. I think we did utilize a large expenditure of the federal dollars left over. However, what's going on now is from all our representatives, we're doing supplemental requests. And just got a notice this morning that we'll be starting working on the 2023 budget coming up this week. So we'll kind of get ahead of the game. And so that's the biggest item. I think all of us, and we've said this, all of us, when I say all of us, all of our representatives, I think we've all had some wins with the, you know, obviously the surplus has been communicated that we had this year, $4.4 to $5 billion surplus that we're still going to utilize to support our community. I think I can add, for example, I'll just pick one out for me. I had an ask for skilled trades youth development program in Saginaw. This program works with at-risk youth, students who've had some troubles in the traditional setting of school, you know, just had a tough road, and maybe some individuals who've gotten out of jail or prison. And we've got a program called Youth Development downtown Saginaw, right across from the Saginaw Police Department. And we were able to get a good appropriations for that program to continue to the tune of $500,000, actually. And they're working with those male and female, you know, ages of 16 to 24. Okay. And a lot of these programs across the state are supported by labor. Our program have tremendous labor support, tremendous business support, connected with Michigan Works, and it's just tremendous. I was really, really happy to get that allotment for our city. You know, you talk about bringing money home. Well, I just started, and we got $500,000 back home to work with our public.
Amos, let me ask about that program for a minute, because, you know, obviously, for a program like that to be successful, you have to have willing participants. Are you finding that 16 to 24-year-old that maybe had trouble, maybe is coming out of prison, are they willing to partake in this?
Yes, they are, Art. And actually, I'm going to extend an invitation to you so we can schedule a time where I can take you over there to see it firsthand. The resources, the equipment that they have, the technology that's installed in that facility. It gives those students a great opportunity to be cutting edge. I had a visit out at Next Year last week, and I just saw the need in terms of high tech. You talk about STEM, skilled trades. So the factories and the plants of yesteryear are no more. So and they're clean, they're efficient, automation, and you know, high tech engineering are the skills necessary for a lot of these manufacturing facilities. And we got a great apparatus here in town, our Michigan Manufacturing Association. We got Jenny Gino with Skilled Trades with CTE for Saginaw Public Schools and ISD. A lot of our business and labor partners are supportive of all of these initiatives. And this is a pipeline for our manufacturing community. That's our fastest growing network in terms of employment that we have in our region.
And it would seem at this time in our lives, if you look on any business anywhere, there's help wanted signs. You would think programs like this, not just for those who have had problems or coming out of prison, but even just youngsters in school would want to take advantage of programs like this.
You know what? Another feather in that cap. We just celebrated at the Saginaw Career Complex last week. Senator Horn, myself, and board members from ISD and Saginaw Public Schools. The prime launch with SME. Yes, we acknowledge and identified that Saginaw County region, we have 7 prime locations in this county of Saginaw. That means these high schools throughout Saginaw County have facilities and the ability to provide skilled trades training for our students in the region. 7, that's the highest in the state, just so you know. And so we're really, this was last week. This is at our Saginaw Career Complex right on White Street. And, you know, we had the millage and some time ago where we went out countywide. And as a result of that, we are seen as one of the leaders in the state of Michigan. This has just happened. We just had a kickoff, launched it off. We had a showcase of all of the departments at SOC, Saginaw Career SCC. And these are traditional students. These aren't the students I just talked about. So, yes, there is a platform, a vehicle for just a traditional student, and we're expanding that as we speak. And so next year we hope to expand it throughout the state. Muskegon's got some, Lansing's got some, up north area has some. And so again, we're trying to meet the demand, as you said, a help wanted signs all over. So this is if they want to apply themselves and get in that mainstream, not to add, reconnect, and then Futures for Frontliners that we have at Delta College. And so those are entities that will support existing employees at various sectors and then give an opportunity for individuals to reconnect, as it said, reconnect, get back into the marketplace. So, you know, our region is really seen as a leader. We're very progressive in our partnership. The collaborative base we have in Saginaw Great Lakes Bay region is second to none. From our business community, from our nonprofit apparatus, I tell you, we are known in Lansing based on that relationship. And like I said, Senator Horn and I, we've been working together on several things. This is one that he and I have been working on. We got some other things planned. Can't say right now, but there's a lot of bipartisanship going on in Lansing. As I said before, people don't seem to know that because they see what they see on television, and that's not always the case. So we do have a lot of bipartisanship going on, and we're advocating for Michigan. We're advocating for our communities, and I think that's what's important. When you talk about being an elected official, doesn't matter if you got an R behind your name or a D. If you got the right attitude, and I do, is to make sure we work collaboratively first, and then work as a unit for the state. And then also you got to identify pockets in your district that you can bring resources back to. I'll give you another one. Veterans Affairs. We've been working on that when I was on County Board of Commissioners, we were working on establishing a Veterans Affairs office. So it didn't happen during that time. But now we just met last week at the county health department, the county courthouse to reintroduce how important to have a Veterans Affairs office. Now, here you go. With that, there's states are set aside for our veterans. COVID has done a job on us just in general, but think about our veterans who have PTSD, who are homeless, and just have some issues that, our Veterans Affairs office at VA, they're overloaded, and they are a medical facility. But we partnered with the YMCA, and this is fresh off the press. YMCA is going to be a partner with us. They're going to house that position. They're going to house that office, and they will be our community partners. But the YMCA, which is a credible organization, they already support veterans, in their existing program. Doug Temple, Steve Meyer, they were there. I had 3 individuals from the Department of Veterans Affairs office in Lansing at the county meeting, and we made our case. And I'll give our colleagues credit for realizing this money is not, there's no strings attached. It's money that's there, just sitting there. Last year there was $100,000. This year it's $124,000 on the table for Saginaw County. So Judge Borchard, he said, wow, thanks, Rep. O'Neal, for bringing money back to the district. I said, well, that's what my job is, right? And so that's going to happen real soon. 2 things that we've talked about. One more thing, the real big issue I started when I'm sorry, you got to break up.
Yeah, I have to take a break here, Amos. Hang on, we'll come back and we'll get those other things, and I've got a few to bring up too. Talking to Representative Amos O'Neal here on the Art Lewis Show on WSGW. We'll be back after these notes.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. It's powerful technology, right experience, and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Exam 4 needs to be sanitized.
Rosanna's MRI clinic isn't operating at max efficiency. She needs a new certified tech certifiably now.
Someone's waiting in room 2 for an ACL scan. Can you handle that?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
We're proud to make Pioneer Sugar for you and your family. Proud to be found in your kitchen, the heart of your home. And it doesn't really matter what you make with Pioneer Sugar, whether it's with our granulated white, light brown, or soft confectioners. It's the memories you'll make using it that will matter the most. Pioneer Sugar, pure and all natural, made from sugar beets grown right here. What could be sweeter than that?
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Lower on Wall Street. Investors worried about oil prices at their highest in 7 years. Also disappointing GDP numbers out of China. The Taiwanese company that makes smartphones for Apple and others is branching out. Foxconn saying it plans to make electric cars for auto brands in China, North America, Europe, and other markets. It says clients can modify their appearance and features. In China, Goldman Sachs has gotten full control of its local banking business after regulators gave it the green light to acquire the remaining stake. Apple is expected to announce new products today during a launch event, likely including a redesigned MacBook Pro. This comes just in time for the holiday shopping season. It also is expected to announce more computers run on its own chips instead of Intel processors. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm the lead in you.
Guys, Untuckit agrees it's finally time. Time to update our closets with new clothes we actually want to wear. Time to think about going back to the office or choosing a new way to work. Time to enjoy the best of fall, like long walks in the park and hot coffee on a brisk day. And that means it's time to look sharp and feel comfortable all day with Untuckit. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Discover the perfect fitting shirt today at untuckit.com. Use promo code TIME for 20% off your first purchase at untuckit.com.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with
is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Tom Sullivan, weeknights at 7 on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
Back with you on the Art Lewis Show from my Saginaw Spirit Home studio, talking to Representative Amos O'Neal. And Amos, you were mentioning before the break some more things happening in your district, so keep going. You're doing well.
Yes. I tell you, I get excited about all the things. But here's one thing I started when I first went to Lansing, and as a result of COVID and seeing the struggle of our local health department, and I said, well, I asked Christine, I said, why is this? Why are we struggling? Why are we shifting funds and financial funds and physical resources to address it? And so she gave all of us the rundown of how the county health departments are funded. So the way they are funded, they're funded on the 50-50 split, 50% from the state, 50% from the county. So, however, the state has sort of been sort of behind due to COVID in terms of getting that funding cycle system back up to 50%. Right now, it's between 23 to 26% funding coming from the state to our local health departments. Now, so that puts our health departments, local health departments, in a quandary. And here's a good case in point. During my visit last week, when we were presenting the County Veterans Affairs presentation, we were first on the agenda, and second was Christine Harrington and her staff, her financial staff, talking about the deficit that they're facing. It was about $1.5 million, somewhere in that range. And they went through the exhortation of talking about how they needed that support. In the county, they've been doing their job. You know, even when I was there, we were supporting the health department in funding. So I wasn't for conversation about this, but Christine Harrington made reference to working with Rep. O'Neal to address the funding system. And I said, yes. So I came up to sit down and I said, yes, Mr. Chair and members of the board, we are working on this very vigorously. This is going to be an item that's going to be addressed this year, hopefully before the first of the year. Been working with Senator Santana, who's on the Health and Human Services Department committee, Senator Ananac, and myself, and there are a whole lot of other fiscal people involved. So what that means, if we get that 50% from the state, that's going to be made whole, and then there'll be a retroactive from 2018 that they didn't get then that they'll get now. And so that'll take the load off the county in terms of trying to backfill the lack of funding that's coming from the state to our local health department.
How is it at a time when we get hit with a pandemic that the state reduces funding to local health departments?
The state didn't reduce funding. It just, when they started the cycle, you had lame duck, and that put everything on hold, right? Then you had the pandemic. So that's what happened. It wasn't that the state did not that precipitated the inability for them to address some of the issues that they had to deal. There were many things that were affected by lame duck, as you know, and then the pandemic. So we're picking up after the fact that period of time to bring it back up. It was on my agenda because I was close to it. I was on the board of the health department, and I also chaired the Health and Human Services division for the county. So I was very close with the data, and I was like, wow, this is has to be addressed. So I took it on. That's going to be another big win for the county, as well as the state, as this legislation comes full circle.
Let's talk about a couple of the things. Something called Safer Streets, and the governor has proposed, I think, $75 million in funding for it. What is it, and how does it work?
Well, she's been actually going around the state talking to community stakeholders and law enforcement community. We're slated to have her come real soon. For security purposes, can't give the date and time yet, but we're scheduled to see her real soon. And I got a list of probably 10 to 12 community leaders, including law enforcement, that's going to have that discussion to see what's the best for Saginaw County. And so it's a great shot in the arm. They're going to support our traditional law enforcement apparatus. They're going to support community organizations that provide programs to youth that will keep them on a different track and give them time spending in educational and enrichment activities that will deter them from, just having that idle time. And then it's going to support just our general community itself in terms of how do we support the existing structure of activities. So that's on the agenda. And to add to that, the Lieutenant Governor was here probably a couple months ago with the Thrive Tour. And that's a part of this as well, going out across the state. He was here at Anderson Enrichment Center. He had various sectors. He had the pastors. He had the nonprofit. He had the business community. And he had local elected officials from his region talking, asking them, what are some of the things we need to do? So I think in that sense, I will give them credit. They've been very responsive to the community, asking what they need, not just saying, here you go, here are the dollars, asking what they need, and then hopefully the information pieces were shared in the sense of transparent, and then hopefully they'll respond accordingly. Here's another big one. All right, mental health. I'll tell you, that's a big issue for all of us. So November the 1st, we've been going across the state with these mental health listening tours just to listen to our communities to find out specifically what support they need in mental health. We're going to have Sandy Lindsay, Renee Johnson, and other community leaders. We got some mental health professionals that's going to meet us. And this is open to the public, but we have to get key individuals to communicate, the perspective of our district, and then get questions and answers from the audience. November 1st, 5 to 7 at Anderson Enrichment Center. It's called the Mental Health Listening Tour, so we can get a better pulse of what our needs are in our county for mental health. That's a big one as well.
Let's move to another one here. Benton Harbor is now going through similar problems that Flint had with their lead water lines.
Yeah.
How are we doing in our area in terms of lead water lines? Do we have proposals to get rid of them?
Yeah, Saginaw's got some of the best water in the state, as you know.
Yep.
And have had our forefathers, having that forward thinking in the past to connect us directly to our water source. I do know we do have a small percentage of issues. I think in every community there are small levels, and some higher. Benton Harbor is just overwhelmingly high. And the governor just announced recently, a couple weeks ago, funding sources to address that. I believe they already received that allocation. I saw the lieutenant governor down there, community leaders, in terms of making sure that they expedite the ability to get those lines taken out and replaced. But again, here you go. Here's a good example of how important infrastructure dollars are to the state. We got those ARPA funds in every community. Saginaw's got $52 million. In all of our surrounding townships and villages, they have an allocation. So one-time activities are critically important. So when people say Saginaw, for example, I'll use this as an example. Saginaw's got $52 million. Yay. But a lot of those dollars, you want to make sure you utilize in major one-time functions, because if you say we're going to start a new program, for example, and there's no sustainability stream attached to it, then that's a futile exercise. You can't start something that you can't support later, right?
Yep.
So structure pieces, and I know Saginaw's going to be smart about it. Tim Morales, the mayor, I know they've been talking, have a lot of community conversations with the public. Obviously, there'll be some support for community organizations throughout our region, but particularly important is that we take these dollars, these one-time dollars. I don't think we'll get this chance and this opportunity too often. Art.
Yeah.
Okay. We really gotta invest smart. We gotta spend smart and take care of infrastructure, as you said.
Amos, hang on. Can I get you to hang on for one more segment?
Sure.
Good.
Sure.
I got to take a break. We'll be right back. We're talking to Representative Amos O'Neal. More ahead on the Art Lewis Show.
Are you ready for retirement? Well, Jason and Carl Kreiderman with Great Lakes Investment Advisors have a new book that can help make retiring easier and empower your retirement. They talk about how a well thought out financial plan can make the difference between just surviving in retirement. Using everyday language, this book explores how a simple process can help you cover all the bases of your financial life, including how taxes can affect your retirement and much more. Your finances are too important to leave to chance. Empower Your Retirement is written to help you understand the must-dos to prepare for the retirement you desire. Get your free copy of Empower Your Retirement by calling 989-848-1188. That's 989-848-1188. And for more on retirement planning, tune into Jason and Carl's radio show, Your Financial Empower Hour, every Sunday morning. Insurance services, investment advisory services offered by Great Lakes Investment Advisors, Inc., a registered investment advisor firm in the state of Michigan. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Motown legends, the Temptations, the Four Tops. Saturday night, November. Go Casino and Resort, Temps and Tops, together again. Tickets start at $34. On sale now at the Soaring Eagle, at Eagles Landing box offices, or online at etix.com. T&T, together again. The legendary Motown sound, November 27th at Soaring Eagle Casino. Ain't no woman like the one I've got. Spend part of Thanksgiving weekend with the Temps and Tops at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort. The way you do the things you do, the way you do, oh, baby, I need your love. Motown's Fab Five and Famous Four. Four Tops. Tickets on sale now. Details at SoaringEagleCasino.com.
As the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission completes mapping Michigan's congressional, House, and Senate districts, we still need to hear from Michigan residents to see if we got it right. After all, redistricting will impact your community for 10 years. So hashtag show up, speak up, and of our public hearings held across the state in October. You can learn more and provide feedback at michigan.gov/MICRC or by calling 1-833-U-DRAW. Hashtag show up, speak up. Sponsored by the Michigan Independent Citizens Redistricting Commission and the MAB. Attorney Joe Cordell.
New school, new job, new home. Change is hard and can and divorce delivers one of life's hardest blows. The relationships you counted on are suddenly gone. But you don't have to walk through this alone. For more than 30 years, Cordell & Cordell has guided men through the challenges of divorce. You're not alone. Call Cordell & Cordell.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Detroit area attorneys. Office CordellCordell.com.
There's a confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. But one thing is for sure. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exocrine temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exocrine.com.
The whole goal is to point people to something bigger.
What if the news was different and covered more than one side of the story? Not just the who, but the why. What if it took you closer?
It's information and people want it.
So you can make up your own mind. What if the news lets you think for yourself? Introducing a new point of view. Yours. Newsy. Watch Newsy free on your TV. Learn more at newsy.com.
On air and online from the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
All right, and before we get back to Representative Amos O'Neal, time to play the WSGW Fall into Cash contest presented by Herman His Company in downtown Bay City. Right now, you can qualify to try and win the cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following word online at WSGW.com. And the word this hour is Hill, Hill. Look at the hill. It's a tough hill to climb. It's an Alpha Media Company-wide contest Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Fall into Cash contest presented by Herman Hisson Company in downtown Bay City here on WSGW. Talking to State Representative Amos O'Neal, and we'll get to a call in a minute here, but I saved one thing. It's kind of the elephant in the room around the state of Michigan. The streets and roads in local communities are in dire need of help. The state, when it does things, seems to go after state roads and federal highways. The money coming out of Washington is restricted, can't be used for these streets and roads. How do we fix the local streets and roads?
That is a big issue. And as you said, our major thoroughfares are being addressed, as you see all the orange cones and things on that. But I think the funding formula for our streets, needs to be revamped. We got an old, antiquated system, and it does not address the local needs. And what we find ourselves doing, and I recall this being a city council person, the system we have is not adequate. It doesn't afford us the resources that we need to fund. There's different levels of grading of roads. And so it's really complex. And so that lets us know how intense we need to apply a road surface. Some roads, for example, like where I live on the border, I live on the border of BV and Saginaw. So when I cross the border from where I live, they have a system where they tar and put gravel down, right?
Right.
And a lot of the rural roads have that same thing, or they'll have just gravel itself, right? A couple years ago, Lapeer Street, 19th Street, all the way from Lapeer, from Buena Vista line to the actually downtown. That's at Weddock Street. We had some funds, federal grant funds that we received, and we were able to repave that. Woodbridge was another one. We got some funding from the feds from. We were able to do that. Parts of Saginaw Township, we were able to get grants to fund some of those areas. So that's how we've been doing, Art. And so I think we got to have some smart, I don't know if you say tax. Tax is like a taboo word, but you look at communities and their tax base and their ability to do certain things and have certain amenities is based on, in large part, on a tax structure, right?
Right.
And so we do, and I'm glad you brought that up. I have a meeting with some local, so coming up actually this week. A colleague and I, Representative Julie Brixey from Lansing, she's a tax specialist. We have some legislation that we're putting forth that will afford cities to generate funds through a grant process that will support their local tax base. For example, if you have a millage like police and fire below a certain tax level, there's an allocation that you are eligible for through a grant process. So we're going to have a Zoom call meeting, I think it's tomorrow, with and this is set up through the Michigan Municipal League. Mayor Moore is going to be on it. Tory from the Buena Vista Township and other mayors from around the state, and we're going to talk about that very issue. And so, it's a lot of moving parts.
Yep.
And that's what I've been trying to do, is be responsive to our. This is one. And all
right, let me.
I'm not sure if you can.
Let's. Errol's been waiting on the line to chat with you, so we'll get him on before we let you go. Errol, good morning. Errol, you there? Errol's gone. All right. Well, we don't have to worry about it then, Amos.
What was the question? Do you know?
I'm sorry. No, I have no idea. Don't know. He hung up. Maybe we talked about it. It's possible that we talked about it. Well, listen, I appreciate your hanging on and staying with us. We appreciate your time all the time. And I'll take you up on that offer to go look at the new training center. I think that would be interesting.
set that up for you. All right, I'll set that up, and we'll get over there and have a chance to listen and hear about, how the thing is. You'll see it firsthand. I think that's the best way, and then I think you'll appreciate it. I think you will.
Absolutely. All right, my friend. Thank you for being with us today. We appreciate it. Have yourself a great day.
You as well.
All right, Amos. Thanks. Bye-bye now. State Representative Amos O'Neal, we thank him for spending some time with us this morning. Take a break, and then we'll come back. We'll have open lines in the remaining minutes of the program. If you have anything you want to chat about, give us a call. We'll be back.
This is Dr. Dennis LaFoon, pastor of Bethel AME Church, and I'm also a member of Saginaw. And we're urging all residents of Saginaw to get the COVID. The health of our community determines the life of our community. So do your part and take the shot that saves lives. Join us in making Saginaw a community with immunity. For COVID vaccine and testing location information, visit GreatLakesBayHealthCenters.org today.
At Golden Harvest, our best skill is knowing how to listen. From our Gold Series soybean and game-changing corn portfolios to our expert insights housed in the Illuminate digital agronomy platform. Everything answer to what we've heard from you. This
peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk, football in your favorite recliner. Some things work best in pairs. Enlist E3 soybeans from Golden Harvest are no different. Our exclusive Enlist E3 varieties have strong agronomics and disease tolerance for your conditions. Get yours from Golden Harvest today for a pairing that performs. This is how we listen. Copyright 2021 Syngenta. The trademarks or service marks displayed or otherwise used herein are the property of a Syngenta Group company, and Enlist E3 soybean technology is jointly developed with Dow AgroSciences LLC and MS Technologies LLC. Enlist E3 is a trademark of Dow AgroSciences LLC. All other trademarks are the property of their respective owners.
Rocket Grab Plus. The days of paying full price are over. And at RocketGrabPlus.com, we are here always giving you the deals that you need. You can get tons of half-off deals going on right now from Fat Matt's Barbecue, Uplift Creative Center, Joyce's Purple Palettes, Frankenmuth Corn Maze, Woody's Hot Dogs, King's Fish and More, and the Hamptons Boutique Tanning and Salon. Half off? Yeah, it's true. And it's all at RocketGrabPlus.com.
RocketGrabPlus.com.
We've all experienced it at one time or another. You know, one of those days, weeks, or months where life happens.
You mean like being unexpectedly laid off and trying to figure out how to make ends meet until I find another job?
Yes.
You mean like my emergency fund getting drained due to car repairs?
Exactly. When you need somewhere to turn to us. We're Members First Credit Union. Let us help you with a Life Happens loan. We're offering super low terms. Get some peace of mind and money to use for all sorts of things. Emergency home repairs, everyday essentials, bills, utilities, and more.
That would be a life changer for me right now. Thanks.
I was worried about getting my roof leak fixed. Wow, that's huge.
Get started and apply now at mfcu.net. Members First Credit Union. When life happens, it's important to have somewhere to turn. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity. Subject to credit approval. Get up to 0.5 percentage point APR off your loan rate based on your relationship with the credit union.
These supply chain bottlenecks.
News.
A critical point here.
News coverage.
Not having enough labor is really a problem right now.
These vaccination requirements will cover.
We believe we have a choice. We are going to stand for our medical freedom.
The newest astronauts.
You're going to
over abortion rights
in Texas.
News coverage.
Inflation. People are panic.
Around the clock.
All 3 vaccines will be available for boosters.
News coverage on WSGW.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Our thanks to Representative Amos O'Neal for joining us this morning. I brought up the roads because, to me, it's one of the critical issues that's not being addressed, certainly at the state level, because, a while back, the governor authorized MDOT to go after $3.5 billion in road construction money, and not a penny of it would be allocated to local roads. Now, I understand in some communities you see road work going on, but it's on state highways. That doesn't address your local streets, neighborhoods. And it's a problem. I mean, when you drive around some communities, you take a look at what the local streets and roads are like, it's a serious problem. And yet we don't see a lot of help. Most of the help that has been generated, and Representative O'Neal is right, it's through taxes. Some communities have put on the ballot a millage question to take care of their own roads and local road surfaces. Maybe that's the way it should be. But I still think there's a role for state money to be used, at least in a matching way, for local roads. So, I don't know. You really wonder. Rich is with us this morning. Rich, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
So what's up?
Well, I'm on your, I think I've got a call back for your focus.
Okay. You're going to talk about assisted living locating.
That's exactly right.
All right.
I'll touch. All right. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll call back about we'll call back about 11:05, and we'll get you on about 11:10. Looking
Thanks,
forward
my
to
friend.
it. All right, Rich, take care. Bye bye now. It's our guest. He called in early for our next hour on Focus. We're going to talk about something called Assisted Living Locators and how they can help you if you're in the need, or if you're someone in your family's in the need. So that will be next hour here on WSGW. Back to the roads, though. For many communities, the roads coming into their community that aren't state roads are the invitation to the community. The minute you drive into a community, if you're on a good, smooth road, you have good, smooth thoughts about that community. If you drive into a bunch of potholes and broken road and patched road, you don't think much about it. Couple that with the fact that there are safety concerns and there are repair concerns on cars that get beat up on some of these roads. It's a major issue that kind of hangs out there, and there doesn't seem to be a uniform response to getting it fixed. Each community is going to take care of their own. And I mean, to some degree, that's fine, because the citizens of the community should have some responsibility in taking care of their own community. I don't discount the fact that there probably should be some kind of local tax structure or tax dollars within the community being used for roads. I just think there should be a state response that offers matching money at a serious level to get it done. And again, people are quick to say, oh, look, they got all this federal money coming in because of COVID. They've got all these dollars that have been granted to states and local communities. Yeah, the problem is those dollars are all restricted dollars. Can't be used for roads and streets. Specifically says can't be used for roads and streets. So that pot of money, while it's wonderful, doesn't solve the problem. Unless a community can figure out how to take some of that money and replace other dollars in their budget so they can free up other dollars in their budget. And I don't even know if that's legal, to tell you the truth. Because you always remember this. If money comes from the federal government, there are strings attached. Period. Take our last break, and then we'll be back to close out the program.
Did you get all the stimulus money for you and your family? Do you have children and didn't know you could receive monthly child tax credit payments? You can claim your monthly child tax credit payments and missing stimulus if you don't file a traditional tax return. Visit ssa.gov/EIP to learn how you can apply online. Get the money your family deserves. Visit ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Christmas. It's the most wonderful time of the year. The place to shop for Christmas is Bronner's. How would you like to join the team and work at Bronner's this holiday season? Hi, this is Christmas Wonderland in Frankenmuth. Not everyone can be Santa Claus, but he always needs lots of helpers. That's why we're currently hiring happy, friendly people that would love the opportunity to make extra cash for the holidays. Bronner's will provide you with a set monthly schedule, your uniform, and time and a half wages on Saturday evenings and all day on Sundays. You could be greeting customers, ringing up orders, personalizing ornaments, assembling gift boxes, and more. Bronner's will give you a generous employee discount for your merry little Christmas, too.
To join the Bronner's team, simply apply online at Bronner's and fill out an online application. That's Bronners.com/jobs. Bronner's, making spirits bright since 1945.
Merry Christmas.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exocrine temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at exocrine.com.
Choose the proven performance of the Roundup Ready Extend crop system, featuring high-yielding Extend Flex soybeans and the exceptional weed control of XtendiMax herbicide with Vapor Grip technology. Elite genetics, triple herbicide tolerance, flexibility that delivers results, backed by 25 years of innovation. That's the Roundup Ready Extend crop system. XtendiMax is a restricted-use pesticide. Always follow stewardship practices, all pesticide label directions, and check with your state pesticide regulatory agency for specific restrictions in your state.
They say if you listen hard enough, you can hear the corn grow. It's true. When you're out in the field, you understand its challenges and what it needs to thrive. Channel Seedsmen bring insights from the field to our team of Bayer plant breeders. Their knowledge inspires our product development. From your best ground to your most challenging conditions, our products are designed to perform in your fields. Visit channellistens.com to see our latest innovations. Always read and follow IRM where applicable, grain marketing and all other stewardship practices and pesticide label directions.
All right, we're back with you here on WSGW. Coming up next hour on Focus, as you heard a few minutes ago, we'll be chatting with Rich Martin from something called Assisted Living Locators. We'll find out what this service is all about and how it functions. That will happen on Focus. Our thanks to Linda Shepard at Pinnacle Realty for sponsoring our show. Our thanks to the Saginaw Spirit Hockey Club for sponsoring our home studio. And our thanks to you for joining us today here on the Art Lewis Show. Coming up news, we'll have CBS News. They'll tell you what's happening in the world and also around the nation. Then the local report, everything happening in the Great Lakes Bay region and the state of Michigan. Then we'll be back with Focus. All of that ahead here on WSGW. We'll talk to you after the news.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
This is our sponsored by Facet Wealth.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Sad news from Washington this morning. Colin Powell, the first Black Joint Chiefs Chair and Secretary of State, has died of complications from COVID, despite being fully vaccinated. Michigan Democrat Debbie Dingell.
Colin was one of the most decent human beings I ever met in my life. He served his country with love and with pride. He believed that public service was absolutely critical.
I'm Cammie McCormick in Tbilisi, Georgia.
The world lost one of the greatest leaders that we have ever witnessed.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin, on a trip overseas, delivered a heartfelt statement on Colin Powell, calling him a mentor.
We will certainly miss him. I feel as if I have a hole in my heart.
Austin said Powell was
Quite frankly, it is not possible to replace a Colin Powell. we will miss him.
Powell was a Republican, but called former President Trump a national disgrace and backed Joe Biden in 2020. Colin Powell was 84. Jury selection is getting underway in Brunswick, Georgia, in the trial of 3 men accused in the killing of a black jogger, Ahmaud Arbery, in 2020. His mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, tells CBS News.
Thinking back, when Ahmaud was first killed, we went through 3 prosecutors, we went through new arrests, and we finally made it this far, so I'm very grateful.
A father and son are accused of shooting Arbery to death. The third defendant, a neighbor, recorded it. U.S. officials are working with Haitian officials to try to secure the release of 17 missionaries from a church in Ohio. They were over the weekend. Correspondent Manuel Bojorquez is in Port-au-Prince.
The notorious gang believed to be involved in this case has been known to carry out mass kidnappings from buses and cars. We tried to contact the leader of the gang by phone last night, but were not successful, so it is not clear what a ransom is for this group of missionaries.
5 of the 17 hostages are children. There could be lots of empty chairs in classrooms in California today. Parents are pulling their kids for the day to protest COVID vaccine mandates. Angela McArdle chairs LA's Libertarian Party.
There are definitely parents who are pulling their kids out of school all across California, across the country too.
Britain's Prince William has awarded the first ever Earthshot prizes for new ideas and technologies to tackle climate change.
In the next 10 years, we are going to act. We are going to find the solutions to repair our planet.
Costa Rica won for paying citizens to plant trees. The Dow is down 74 points, S&P unchanged. This is CBS News.
Facet Wealth, personalized and affordable financial planning for everyday Americans. No wealth or asset minimums. Quality financial advice for every stage of your life.
While you're comfortable inside your home or business, the weather takes a toll on your roof. Wind, rain, hail, UV rays, and the heat of the sun cause premature failure of your shingles. Everyone loves to save money. If you have an aging roof, don't spend a lot of money on replacement. Get a Roof Max shingle treatment and get some peace of mind. Get more life for less money. Guaranteed with Roof Max, a powerful future. Call Ben today at 859-67.
There are a lot of exciting things happening this fall. I want to focus on what's important, not what's for dinner. Luckily, HelloFresh delivers everything I need, and it's 30% cheaper than grocery shopping. The quick and easy recipes are perfect for weeknights. We're all busy, but with HelloFresh, I actually have time to enjoy my meals. Go to HelloFresh.com/DanaCortez14 and use code DanaCortez14 for up to 14 free meals plus free shipping. That's code DanaCortez14 for 14 free meals at HelloFresh.com/DanaCortez14.
At Wildfire Credit Union, our team will tell everything we do is for our members because it's about you always.
One of my Wildfire coworkers contacted me after 5 p.m. one day. She was working with a member in a rush to meet with a seller of a vehicle she wanted to purchase. I double-checked her loan application right then. I emailed it out to her while she was on her way to the branch so that she could sign electronically. We had her check ready for her when she arrived by 6 p.m. Teamwork makes the dream work. For our member, the dream was finding a car, applying for a loan, and buying it in one day. And the Wildfire team made it work.
Saving members money, providing personalized service, going the extra mile. That's Wildfire Credit for yourself. Call, click, or come by any Wildfire location to experience banking the way it's supposed to be, where it's about you always. Wildfire Credit Union. Distinctively better. Member NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
Sunny skies and 52 degrees at 11:05. Good morning. I'm Mike Percha. Bay City is looking at ways to protect the area's groundwater from any contaminants in Middle Grounds landfill. 1956 and was closed in 1984. In 1998, Bay City and Honeywell International entered a consent decree with what's now known as the Department of Environment, Great Lakes, and Energy to provide for the completion of a remedial investigation and feasibility study, the implementation of an interim response action, and the submission of a approved remedial action plan. A nearly $40,000 proposed partnership between the city and San Clemente, California-based Regenesis Remediation Services, trademark product called plume stop liquid activated carbon, which the city says has been proven to rapidly remove groundwater contaminants like PFAS, among others, and speed up any underground concentration reduction processes. Staff shortages in hospitals are causing longer emergency room wait times. WJRT TV reports the pandemic largely brought about changes in how patients were seen in the ER. However, now nurses, nursing assistants, secretaries, physical therapists, respiratory therapists, and more are in short supply. This is causing some wait times to be up to 3 times longer than normal. Hospital officials say anyone requiring immediate medical attention will still be seen right away. Threatening medical conditions will have to wait. The Bay City Salvation Army is holding an open house today with its Kettle Drive kickoff at 5 p.m. The drive will be held across from City Hall at the Salvation Army Bay City Core Community Center at 401 10th Street. The open house will have refreshments. Everyone is invited to attend. WSGW News Time 11:07.
We've all seen how unpredictable life can be, but here's one thing you can count on. The Covenant Center for the Heart is here for you. More people in the Great Lakes Bay region trust their hearts to Covenant Healthcare than any other area hospital, because we have the most comprehensive cardiac care in the region. From diagnosis in our chest pain center, to the region's first structural heart disease program, to our cardiac rehabilitation and wellness center. And because we keep our patients safe, Covenant has been awarded an A rating for patient safety from the Leapfrog Group 6 times running. So if you have an existing heart condition, call your cardiologist. If you experience symptoms like chest pain or shortness of breath, call 911 or come to the Covenant Emergency Care Center. Don't delay care. Life and hearts can be unpredictable. Trust yours to Covenant Healthcare, the leader for extraordinary.
WSGW News Time, 11:08. The weather forecast is coming up next. Michigan's Department of Agriculture and Rural Development has proposed a quarantine on exterior firewood to help prevent the introduction of unwanted pests and diseases into the state. Under the proposal, firewood shipped into Michigan would have to be certified as heat treated at a temperature of 140 degrees Fahrenheit for at least 60 minutes. Kiln-dried lumber and wood chips smaller than 1 inch, and logs or wood shipped from out-of-state sources directly to mills and other facilities for immediate processing would be exempt. The agency says more and diseases can be moved by firewood, including Asian longhorn beetle, mountain pine beetle, and spotted lanternfly. Michigan's 2 biggest universities are getting millions of dollars to look at how climate change is affecting the Great Lakes. Here's Dan Jenkins.
Researchers at the University of Michigan and Michigan State University have been awarded $5.4 million from the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration to continue their study of climate change and variability risks in the larger Great Lakes region over the next 5 years. They say researchers with Great Lakes Integrated Sciences and Assessments will continue their physical and social science programs to explore research and emerging issues in the region. Over the past 11 years, the team has worked to produce usable climate information to enhance Great Lakes communities' capacity to understand, plan for, and respond to climate impacts now and in the future. Dan Jenkins for the Michigan News Network.
The college founded by Finnish immigrants in Michigan's Upper Peninsula will be looking for a new leader. Philip Johnson says he's resigning as president of Finlandia University in Hancock at the end of the 2021-22 school year. He hasn't given a reason for the departure. Johnson has been criticized by faculty members who approved a no-confidence vote in June. In response, the school's governing board said attracting more authority. Finlandia was known as Suomi College when it opened in 1896. It's celebrating its 125th anniversary this year. WSGW News Time, 11:10. I'm Mike Percha.
Here's your WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Mostly sunny skies here for your day today with a high into the mid-60s. Northwest winds around 5 to 10 miles per hour. And then for tonight, mostly clear skies, a low near 42. Tuesday, sunshine, a high of 72 degrees. Then by Wednesday, a slight chance for rain showers here late. Blend of clouds and sunshine develop. Thursday, a chance for rain showers, cloudy, high of 62 degrees. Then by Friday, we'll have partial sunshine developing, a high of 53. Saturday, mostly sunny, high of 53. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki with the WSGW Weatherology Forecast. Currently, it's 61.
Now, it's time to focus as WSGW presents the people, the places, the businesses, the culture, the area events and activities, all put into focus on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and on WSGW.com.
And welcome. Welcome to another edition of Focus, brought to you by RoofMax, the safe, proven, and affordable alternative to expensive asphalt shingle replacement. Find out about RoofMax online. RoofMax, or call Ben at 859-6751. That's roofmax.com with 2 X's. Today we're going to learn about another business in our area called Assisted Living Locators. And to help us out with that, we say good morning to Rich Martin. Rich, good morning to you and welcome at the proper time.
Good morning, Art. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
You're welcome. All right, I guess we need to start, because I had not heard of this before, with an overview of what Assisted Living Locators is, what you do.
Sure, exactly. Well, thanks again for having me on. Assisted Living Locators is a nationwide organization that helps seniors find the appropriate care they need and the living accommodations as their needs change and they get older, kind of like a realtor for seniors.
So let's start with the senior who comes to you, or a family member brings a senior to you. Where do you begin in the process?
Sure. I've got a 4-step process. Sit down and talk with the family. We'll talk about their level of care needs, their budget, their desired location. And then I've got a database with all of the communities in the Great Lakes Bay region, and I'll kind of match up those communities with the senior and their family. I'll take them through and do a tour of the communities in person, and then help in the transition. Oftentimes it's things like transportation or moving their possessions into a new community that can cause some friction. So I try to make that process as easy and as smooth as possible.
So let's go back to what you said about your database. Is it a, how do I put it? Is it a member database where the various facilities have to become a member of your organization, or do you represent all of the facilities in a region?
Yeah, so it's all of the facilities in the beholden to one or two. Really, my job is to match the client's needs with the best community for them. So I don't know if you knew this or not, but there's about 120 either assisted living communities or adult foster care homes in the Great Lakes Bay region. So trying to figure out and navigate those waters by yourselves can be quite a challenge. So
yeah, that's
I'm
why
here to
I
make
asked.
that process easier.
That's why I asked.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So
it can be overwhelming.
Since Assisted Living Locators is a business, how are you compensated?
Sure. There's absolutely no cost to the senior.
Oh, wow.
Service.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's free to them, and I get paid a referral fee from the community for a successful placement. So if someone moves into a assisted living community or a memory care community, they will give me a referral fee for that placement.
So it's a free service then. When
free service, absolutely, no obligation and no cost.
Love that. Love that. There are a variety of facilities, aren't there? I mean, everything from apartment living to, assisted living, memory care. You represent them all?
Yes, I do. It really depends on the level of care that the client needs. And really, you kind of want to anticipate those needs changing over time. As we age, we're not as sharp as we used to be. It's difficult to get around. There are other issues that come with aging. So you really want to move into a community that offers assisted living when you're ready for that, but also can take you to assisted living where maybe you just need help with your medication management or with meals and those kinds of things. So yeah, there are communities designed to grow with you as you age.
And you also handle nursing homes, is that true?
That's true. Yep, that's true.
So
a lot of times my clients come to me are if they've had a fall and they were admitted into the hospital and they come out of a rehab or skilled nursing, and they can't stay there. They have a few days to decide where they're going to move next. Practical for them to move back home. So that's where I can come in and kind of help them make that transition.
How long has this franchise been in this area?
It's new in the area since July of this year, but the franchise has been around for about 20 years. We're based out of Phoenix, Arizona, and we've got about 130 franchisees throughout the country, and there's about 5 here in Michigan and in the Detroit area, Grand Rapids, Lansing, and Ann Arbor.
All right, hang on. I got to take a break. We're talking to Rich Martin from Assisted Living Locators. More on that when we return here on WSGW. And let's start out by trying to give away some money in the WSGW Fall into Cash contest presented by Herman Hiss & Company, downtown Bay City. Right now, you can qualify to win the daily cash prize of $1,000 by entering the following word online at WSGW.com. The word this hour is power. 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 To those who win goes the power. It's an Alpha Media company-wide contest. Must be 18 or older to play. One winner chosen each day. Complete rules at WSGW.com. Fall into Cash contest presented by Herman Hiss & Company, downtown Bay City, here on WSGW. And we will pause and be back with Rich Martin from Assisted Living Locators after these notes.
Did you get all the stimulus money for you and your family? Do you have children and didn't know you could receive monthly child tax credit payments? You can claim your monthly child tax credit payments and missing stimulus payments, even if you don't file a traditional tax return. Visit ssa.gov/EIP to learn how you can apply online. Get the money your family deserves. ssa.gov/EIP. Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents. And does.
Don't you just love the smell of old books?
Shh, this is a library.
Sorry, ma'am. We're looking for a book titled Liberty Mutual Customizes Your Car Insurance so you only pay for what you need.
I don't think we carry that, but check nonfiction.
He really does devour literature.
Please leave.
Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty. The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
So as you guys know, Mark's gone.
The float artist at Fred's Floral just took off, days before the parade. They need a replacement before business passes them by.
Oh, and who am I going to get to finish the float?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
You're in the Stone Specialist Studios. This is 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW.
And we're back with you here on Focus, talking to Rich Martin from Assisted Living Locators. And before I forget to ask this, we could go through this whole interview and I wouldn't ask. How do people get a hold of you?
Sure. My phone number is 502-2244. But it may be easier just to go out to the internet and type in AssistedLivingLocators.com. There you'll find a search. You can enter in your zip code, and my homepage will pop up.
And what's your phone number again, just so we have it?
It's sure 989-502-2244.
So when someone calls, what should they expect? What's going to be the procedure, and how long does it take to get them located?
Sure. Well, it all depends on the client's needs. Again, if they're coming out of a skilled nursing facility and they've got to find a new place within 3 or 4 days, we can accommodate that. Hopefully folks will plan ahead and try to give me a week or two notice so we can tour the communities properly and get a good understanding of what's available in the marketplace. From a customer, we'll have about a 15-minute intake call where I'll find out their preferences, their budget, and the level of care that their family member needs. And then from that point, I'll make some recommendations on communities in the area. And then we'll schedule a time to go personally visit those communities, meet the staff, learn about the activities that are there, etc. And then we'll move forward with a transition or a move. So it can take a day or two, or it can take up to a couple of weeks.
Does insurance come into play at all?
There are some tricky waters to navigate with financing assisted living. Your typical health insurance doesn't provide much coverage, if any. Some folks have long-term care insurance, which will help as well. And then for folks who don't have a lot of resources, there is the Medicaid program with living funds as well. But yeah, certainly something that is a big part of the decision-making process. How you pay for it, assisted living can be fairly expensive, so you have to really figure out how you're going to finance that move.
Is there a big range, though? I mean, is assisted living unit 1 versus assisted living unit 2 or 3? Can there be a huge spread in cost for the same service?
Yeah, it can vary greatly depending on the type of community that you're in. And a lot of the charge is based on the level. So memory care will require a lot more hands-on staffing time. You'll need to be in a security area. And there's a lot more hand-holding with memory care patients, someone who's suffering from dementia or Alzheimer's. Other communities that offer just assisted living or just independent living are what a typical apartment would be. So the range is pretty great.
All is determined by the interview, though, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's where we figure out, the level of care that's required between one community and the next. And sometimes, depending on the number of beds they have available, some of the communities are willing to negotiate on their rates. So that's another point where you need kind of an advocate who's looking out for you, who's interested in getting you the best deal that's out there for your care needs.
And one other question, because assisted living can be a lot of different things. It can include in-home care. Do you deal with in-home agencies too?
I sure do. I can make recommendations along those lines too. And typically, I think our 73% of folks want to age in place, at least in the beginning, bring home care into their home. If they need help with just medication management or something, those similar services that are easy to provide in home. But oftentimes what happens as we age, our needs become greater and we'll have more needs for assistance and more round-the-clock service. And that's where a transition to an assisted living community may be appropriate.
All right, so let's leave everybody again with the website.
Sure, it's assistedlivinglocators.com. And my phone number is 989-502.
Well, Rich, thanks for joining us, and we'll have to do it again down the road. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Art. Yeah, thanks so much for your time this morning.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Rich Martin, Assisted Living Locators. We thank him for joining us. How was your sleep last night? You know, workers are asked to do more for less these days. And when you go to bed and theoretically you spend a third of your life there, you need quality sleep. You can get it with a quality mattress from Sanitary Mattress. Now, you can visit all the so-called sleep stores, or you can rest assured the mattress you're using is manufactured right here in the Great Lakes Bay region to your specifications. Your dollars are spent and they stay right here in our local economy. Your time in bed may be cut short by today's demanding world, but don't be fooled. You can still get a quality good night's sleep on a Sanitary Mattress. And they feature 1-hour window delivery of your mattress to your home, so you don't have to wait around all day for them. By the way, they can also custom make an RV or boat mattress for you to your exact size, something the box stores can't do. Visit the Sanitary Mattress Factory and Showroom, serving this area since 1935. Set your GPS to 5343 Janes Road in Saginaw, just east of the Harry Brown Airport. Visit them on the web at sanitarymattress.com or call 753-1757. Sanitary Mattress. We'll be back right after this.
We've all experienced it at one time or another. You know, one of those days, weeks, or months where life happens.
You mean like being unexpectedly laid off and trying to figure out how to make ends meet until I find another job?
Yes.
And getting drained due to car repairs?
Exactly. When you need somewhere to turn to a credit union. Let us help you with a Life Happens loan. We're offering super low rates and a variety of terms. Get some peace of mind and money to use for all sorts of things. Emergency home repairs, everyday essentials, bills, utilities, and more.
That would be a life changer for me right now. Thanks.
I was worried about getting my roof leak fixed. Wow, that's huge.
Get started and apply now at mfcu.net. Members First Credit Union. When life happens, it's important to have somewhere to turn. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity. Subject to credit approval. Get up to 0.5 percentage point APR off your loan rate based on your relationship with the credit union.
Compromise if you're at the playground or scouring yard sales. But farmers know better that middle grounds have no winner. That's why there's Revitec fungicide, fast-acting and long-lasting, preventative and curative, disease control and stress reduction. So leave the settling to little Tommy at the seesaw, an old bargain bill, and take your full prize. Revitec fungicide for uncompromised performance. Always read and follow label directions.
If you're with Verizon, AT&T, or T-Mobile, you're paying too much. Switching to Pure Talk saves the average family over $800 a year. Go to Pure Talk, promo code MONEY to save 50% off your first month. That's puretalk.com, promo code MONEY.
Would you like a cleaning product that can be used in the garage, the laundry, and the kitchen, and save space in your cabinet? Hi, I'm Bruce Fabrizio, inventor of Simple Green. To learn more, visit us at simplegreen.com. Simple Green.
All right, that'll do it for Focus today. We thank you for joining us. We thank RoofMax for sponsoring it, too. You can find out about RoofMax online at roofmax.com. That's with 2 X's. Time to head over to Baird & Company for our ticket tip of the day, and that's where we find Steve Anderson. Steve, good morning.
Well, a very good morning to you, too, Art.
And is it a very good morning for the markets?
It's kind of a mixed morning, you know. That'd be the best way of putting it here. We've got the Dow Jones Industrial Average down just about 35,279. 247 million shares, and the NASDAQ, however, is up 45, putting it at 14,942. Volume there is 310 million shares. So,
yeah,
a little bit of everything.
Yep. And your ticker tip for the day?
Well, one of should do when they start easing their way toward and into retirement is kind of stress test their financial plan. Now, what that means, when the banks do it, they are trying to see what happens to their portfolios under varying market conditions. When you would do it for yourself, you are looking at what would happen to my financial plan in the event of an emergency, and what kind of an emergency. And like right now, we've got inflation coming. How's that figure into the whole thing? And so the very, very first thing that people need to do, and I find it's probably the biggest overlooked item, is a budget. I mean, a budget where you've got expenses written down that you have quantified, you are going to need, and you figure out where you're going to get it from. Once you've got that done, you're not finished, but you certainly are off to a good start. You got to figure out, and then you can manage and tuck in the proper investments to get them done. And some of the tools that you use to evaluate some of that stuff are a little tricky, but
well, that's why we need help. And how do we get a hold of you for that?
Well, absolutely. Company in Saginaw, the telephone number is 790-5724, or you can call our Miller location, 839-9035, or still another way, you can find us on the web at rwbaird.com, and then look for the branch you want.
All right, Steve, have a great day. We'll talk to you down the road.
Sounds good. Take care.
Yep. Bye-bye now. Steve Anderson at Baird & Company with our ticket tip of the day. The Farm Show with Farm Director Terry Henney will be along next.